The Division has come a long way since its initial release in March of 2016, but do all of those improvements and DLC make the game worthy of a sequel? Hey everyone, Solar here, welcome back to another Division video. In today's video we're going to be doing something a little bit different, where I take a look at basically the entire Division's lifespan and deciding whether or not I think it warrants a sequel based on sales, players' opinions and stuff of the game. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to be doing, so before any further ado, let's just jump right into it. We know that many of Ubisoft's franchises continue to release sequels, even if the most recent game in the series was disliked by fans or critics. Almost all of Ubisoft's franchises that have had a title release in the past few years have gotten or are planned to get a sequel. Almost all but one, that one being The Division. We'll be looking at the sales, the player counts, and many other things that relate to The Division's lifespan, and whether or not I think The Division will be getting a sequel anytime soon. First off, let's talk about game sales. Sales for a game are one of, if not the most important factor in determining if a game in that franchise will receive a sequel. The Division in its lifetime has roughly sold over 7 million copies across all platforms, according to VGCharts.com. 4.3 million copies on PS4, 2.5 million on Xbox One, and about 500,000 sales on PC. Those sale numbers alone would normally be enough for a development company to begin early production on a sequel. However, Massive Entertainment, the creators of The Division, seem to have their priorities elsewhere. While there has been no word yet on whether or not a Division sequel is in the pipeline, Massive has been working on 2 other projects since The Division launched back in 2016. Earlier this year, they announced that they were going to be working on a new project that was based on the movie Avatar. I know personally I would rather have a Division 2 or some type of sequel or spin-off in the franchise, but I'm also sure that there are a lot of people that would be fans of an Avatar game. Apparently they are well into production on this Avatar game, and I guess it's planned for some time of a release of next year, but there hasn't really been a reveal trailer or anything yet, so I think it's still pretty far off and still has a ways to go in its development. The second project that they've been working on is a year 2 of expansions and updates for The Division, with many updates and 2 planned expansions expected for the release over the course of the next year, with the first free update coming sometime in the next few weeks, that being Update 1.7. Also, unlike Ubisoft's other game with Year 2 DLC, Rainbow Six Siege, all of The Division's Year 2 updates and expansions will be completely free to everyone that owns the base game. So even if you have the Year 1 Season Pass, that granted you to all of the Year 1 content. However, in Year 2, it's just going to be free to everyone, so you can play all the new DLC with your friends that might not have the Season Pass. Unfortunately, I don't believe we'll be seeing any Division sequel until after the stream of Year 2 content has ended, so maybe some announcements around the 2-year anniversary next year in March of 2018. If you go into the fairly large community of people that are still playing The Division after all this time, many, if not all of them, are hardcore fans that love the state that the game is in right now, challenging PvP in the Dark Zone, and many endgame activities to play and gear to hunt. However, The Division was not always a fan-favorite game. At its initial launch, The Division was branded as a Destiny killer type of game. The Division would be everything that Destiny wasn't at its launch. Well, when it came time for The Division to release, many people were not happy at all. While the game had great gameplay, gunplay, and loot to grind for, similar to Destiny, the story was barely memorable, and at launch there were really no endgame activities other than the Dark Zone and recycled campaign missions with a much higher difficulty. While I personally did enjoy the endgame of The Division, many people that were sort of casual players or hardcore players were not really enjoying the endgame content. And about a month after release, The Division had a player drop of about 93%. 93% of people that played around launch had given up on the game simply because there was nothing to do really after you hit level 30. Also, the game received average and mediocre reviews at launch. Those are just some of the reasons that I believe we will be seeing a proper Division sequel, but probably not for some time. If The Division does ever make a comeback, it will have to majorly improve upon the first game's state at launch. If a sequel is already in the works, I'm hoping that Massive can take some pointers from other Ubisoft games, such as the difference between Assassin's Creed 1 and Assassin's Creed 2, or even Watch Dogs 1 and Watch Dogs 2. I'm just hoping they take some pointers from other games that made, I guess, bigger differences to the story and to the mechanics from their first game into the sequel, making it a much better entry for the franchise. First off, the story needs to be much more cinematic and introduce more meaningful and fleshed out characters, sort of like what Destiny is planning to do with its sequel. Also, adding an established villain character would benefit the series greatly. The Division didn't really have a villain in the game. It had a sort of virus that was spread around New York City, and a bunch of different factions that were trying to capitalize on that. However, I would have liked to fight an actual person in the final fight of the Division with some mechanics, other than just hack a bunch of turrets to shoot down a helicopter in the sky. Secondly, the Division needs to add more incentives for open-world exploration. They took a large step in the right direction a few updates in by adding their sort of tiers to their world bosses. They added world bosses across the map, which would increase in level if you had your, say, world tier at a higher level. If you had it at tier 5, different world bosses could drop different exotic weapons. I believe that there should be more to do in the open world in a game like The Division. Finally, the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone was by far my favorite part of The Division, as well as so many other people. Running around with a group of friends and competing or teaming up with other people to clear out large spaces of enemies and a world boss always felt so satisfying. Going rogue and getting the status of manhunt and trying to evade the players that were chasing you to get the bounty on your head will always be one of my favorite video game experiences. However, I do believe there is a lot to improve on in the sequel, such as adding more things to do in the Dark Zone than it just being a large PvPvE arena with no real objectives, other than the sort of supply drops that they added in a few updates ago. All in all, I do think we will be getting a Division sequel in the coming years, and I am very excited to see what's up next for the franchise. As always, that's going to do it for me, guys. I put a lot of work into this video, typing out a bunch of stuff that I needed to say instead of just doing a ramble. So yeah, if you enjoyed this type of video, I'm definitely going to be making more videos like this. I enjoy this style of content more than sort of my off-the-top-of-the-head news rambles that I do for Destiny and stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this type of video, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you like the type of content that I make on this channel, especially this new type of content. Also, I'm doing a Destiny 2 beta code giveaway over on my Twitch channel. If you go follow me over on Twitch, in about a week I'll be giving away some beta codes for Destiny 2. So a bunch of people that are maybe were burnt by the first game can try out the second one, try out the beta, see if you're willing to come back. Yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys are enjoying the new style of content. That's going to do it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.